NBC's Steve Kornacki is at the big board with the very latest on the 2024 Senate map. So what's your take, Steve? This was a huge announcement by Senator Manchin, and it is going to make it so much tougher for Democrats to hold on to the Senate. What are you seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think West Virginia is an uphill slog for any Democrat these days. And if there was one who might possibly have a chance of winning a Senate race there, it was Manchin. There's really no one else out there who you could see pulling that off. Put this in some perspective. The Senate right now, Democrats with that 51-49 advantage, that asterisk, 3 independents who caucus with the Democrats. So we're including them in that total. And what that means, as you take a look at the 2024 map here, these are seats that are up in 2024. This is the party that currently controls them. So if you're going into it 51-49, and we just look at West Virginia, there is no Democratic-controlled seat that's up in 2024 that's nearly as Republican as West Virginia, a state that Donald Trump carried by 40-plus points twice. So not a stretch at this point to say Republicans, as the Cook report is saying, very likely to get this. If they do, that alone brings you to 50-50. And if the Republicans, if Donald Trump or whoever the Republican nominee is, wins the presidency, 50-50 with the tie-breaking vote of the vice president would give the Republicans control of the Senate. So what Democrats need, if the Democrats do retain the presidency, if Joe Biden's reelected, then 50-50 would work for the Democrats and they could hang on. But that would mean, here's what they would need to do. Take a look at these other blue seats up. They'd have to hold them. Look at Montana. This is another very Trump-friendly state. John Tester running for re-election. He's won 3 times before. This could be a tall task for him, though. It's going to be a presidential election year. Trump's going to do, we expect, very well if he's the nominee in Montana. Can Tester hold on against that? Sherrod Brown in Ohio is going to get a challenge. This is a state that Donald Trump has made more red in his 2 presidential campaigns. If he's the nominee, is that going to be too much for Sherrod Brown to overcome the weight of Trump at the top of the ticket? There are other potential trouble spots for Democrats here. Maybe a Pennsylvania, maybe a Michigan, maybe a Wisconsin. It's a complicated situation in Arizona as well. Sinema, she's one of the independents who now caucuses with the Democrats. Is this going to be a 3-way race? What's going to go on out there? Gallego, the congressman, is running. If he holds the seat, that would keep it blue, even without Sinema being reelected. But you could just see all sorts of opportunities here for Republicans to make gains. And you look at the red seats that are up. Where do Democrats have a chance of countering it? It's tough to say.
The pickup opportunities are just stunning when you lay it out in that way, Stephen. Of course, that's not the only reason why Democrats are incredibly concerned over this announcement by Joe Manchin, because he's eyeing a potential run as a third-party candidate. He would join Jill Stein, RFK. I mean, how significant would that be if he does, in fact, get into the race?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if you start getting some polling specifically using Manchin's name, because this has caught my eye, and I think it caught a lot of people. The New York Times did polls of 6 key battleground states this week. They did 2 versions, just Biden versus Trump, and then they included Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who says he's running as an independent. And look at these numbers. You know, basically at or above 20% now. Is that a reflection of the power of the Kennedy name? Is that a reflection of his messaging? He's got that sort of vaccine skepticism, official information channel skepticism, however you want to define it, as a reflection of that. Or how much of this is just a reflection of how badly voters want an alternative to both Biden and Trump? And if you're offering them Kennedy, how many of them are just saying, well, he's not Biden, he's not Trump, I'll vote for him? And you wonder, would somebody like Manchin look at that and see an opening? And the opening for a Manchin would be no labels. They're trying to get ballot access. You see, they got a dozen states right now where they're on the ballot. They're trying to get ballot access with a convention in March to nominate a candidate. Maybe Manchin takes a look at Kennedy and says, I should take a look at that and make a run for this.
Yeah, his numbers certainly are higher than I think a lot of people expected them to be. Probably a mix of all those different potential factors you laid out. Steve Kornacki, thank you so much.